Hey y'all, it's Michael and it's VEDA day 26, and today I'm here to do one of my favorite book tags that I love to watch. It's the Behind the Booktube tag. This was created by Cait Lindsey. I'll link the original video down below, but I think it's privated, so we'll see how that goes. CL from Love and CL was telling me she would love to see me do it, just because I do love photography and everything, so I was like, sure. I'm gonna do it. I really enjoy this type of book tag because I'm really curious how people edit. I'm always wondering how people do like editing their video camera, all of that. So yay, let's get into it. Question number one, what kind of camera do you use? I use 3 cameras. That sounds like an overboard for my videos, but I just use 3. The first one is obviously my iPhone right here. In the level of importance, this would be the third one. I use this as like a last resort if my battery dies for some odd reason. I didn't bring enough batteries because I have a lot of batteries, or B, maybe like I just want to do a quick video. Like some of my videos on here have been recorded, like some of my clips have been recorded on my iPhone, like a couple of time lapses, like more of the follow me around vlog. My second camera that I use for my follow around vlogs, instead of my DSLR, which I'm filming right now, is this one right here. Now this is a Sony RX100 Mark 1. I love this camera. This is my baby next to this baby, but this is my baby. I love this camera. It is expensive. The Mark 5 of this basically just came out, and that's like $1,000 now. Last time I checked, this one, when it first came out, it was like, I think it was like 600, 700, 800, around there. Now this is a point and shoot. It's not a mirrorless camera. It's a point and shoot. I guess I'll talk about this later when I talk about cameras, but now there's like levels to point and shoots. Before there were never like levels to point and shoot. It was just like your basic point and shoot. But now this is more of the high-end point and shoot. It's targeted more for enthusiasts, photography enthusiasts. This captures image beautifully, especially in low lighting situations. If you see a couple of my like follow me around vlogs, a lot of those are actually like at night or when the sun, as of right now, is setting. I really want to buy the Mark 5 because it has more features than this, but I love this camera. I also really love it too because I got it for an amazing deal, like an incredible deal. I'll talk about it in the video camera, but I really enjoyed this. Now I'm gonna turn this on and I'm gonna switch it. The other camera that I use my DSLR is this right here. This is my T5i right here. I use this is the 24 2.8 STM lens, and I have a neutral density filter on it, and then the other questions I'll talk about it later, but that's the camera that I use right there. I saved up for a while to buy this T5i right here. I really like it. I do want to get eventually like maybe something like an 80D, or if it ever works out, maybe I really do want like a 5D Mark III. I'm always like constantly changing my mind on which cameras I want, but I do want to upgrade soon enough. I do feel as though I did reach capability of this camera. I feel like I want to get something more like maybe in the enthusiast line or like the pro line for Canon. Do you use any additional equipment, lighting, tripod, microphone, remote, etc.? Yes, I have a lot of camera things that I use. It always depends on the situation. So I'm gonna show you. This is a Manfrotto tripod that I use. I love this I love this tripod so much. And then I just use a cheap basic mic. I want to buy like a Rode one, but I just haven't bought it. I should, but this mic does fine for what I do. Now with Manfrotto, I have a lot of their products. I really love Manfrotto as a company in general. Funny story about this tripod that I'm using. The spring on it actually broke, and because it was the year where it was snowing, and then like it gets so hot later on as I was doing videos, and the spring on it broke. And what I love about Manfrotto is that their manufacturer warranty is for 5 years. So I just took it to Best Buy, and since it's under their manufacturer warranty, you just get a new one. And I was like, bruh, it's so easy and convenient. And a lot of their things, like I have their backpacks, I have like some of their lighting, like extra lighting. I really like the quality. I really enjoy Manfrotto. Other things that I do use a remote when I'm using a different filter, when I'm using my 50mm 1.8 Mark II. It's like the old thing. It creates really beautiful bokeh in the background. Use it every once in a while depending on how I'm liking the lighting back here. And then I use a like a small light, because in my room the light is very yellow, and I know how to do like post-processing, but I just like the light that I like the small light that I use. Should probably go more into detail, but this video is probably already longer. Scripted or spontaneous? How do you plan what you're going to say in your video? On my follow me around vlogs, obviously that's not scripted because you can't script that type of thing. But for these videos, like where I have the tripod and I'm talking to y'all, this is scripted. I write down bullet points and then I section that off and I make sure that I say these certain things. And I just do that because for editing purposes, my favorite step in the process of uploading a Booktube video is editing. That's where I spend the most time at. When I'm editing, when I'm looking at the sound waves, I know where to cut automatically, because if there's a huge gap of silence, I know that I need to cut it right away, so I can go on to the next clip and it'll flow easier. How many takes do you do when filming? I take one. It's just one straight. DSLR can only film roughly 30 minutes, and so I have 30 minutes within that time, and most of the time I don't take up that time, but I just do one take because I know where to cut automatically when I'm editing this. If you use music in your videos, where do you find it? Yes, I do use epidemic.com. I really enjoy their selection and I just really like it. You do have to pay. I was like, you know what, since I'm doing beta, I just signed up and I really enjoy a lot of the music, and since I include now so much music in my videos, I really like that website because I can literally spend hours on there just looking up music. How do you make your thumbnails? I just take a screenshot of the video that I take, make sure I'm not derpy looking like this, and then just take it from there, because I don't really do editing. Like, I don't put words on here and all of that. I just don't. I just take the screenshot and then that's it. How do you use to edit your videos? I use Premiere Pro CC 2017, and I just really like it because I'm part of that Adobe suite thingy. So, because I do use Photoshop and Lightroom for like when I take photos. So I was like, might as well just get the Premiere also. So that's what I use. I love Premiere Pro. It is so good. And they just did an update on it, and it has some really cool features, especially like I don't know what they did with it internally, like I don't know all the specs, but it seemed to run faster on my computer. I just really like the program. I haven't used like Final Cut, and that's because I don't have a MacBook. I use PC, and I really like it. Any tips, tricks, or hacks when it comes to filming/editing? I have a lot. As a photographer, you learn to, especially if you're like on a budget, you learn to do the best of what you got. And that's like one of the philosophies that I've always followed, is to make the best of what you got. And there are a lot of tricks, like even though if you're not into photography but you do Booktube, is to learn how photography, like how to take a photo, because once you learn how to really, like how the science behind like exposure, like ISO, your white balance, like all of that, once you learn and you get a really good grasp of that nugget, it translates so easily into a video that you can learn how to, like even with or like iPhones, or like how do I get this pretty background without buying a really expensive lens. Once you learn how it works, you'll be like, oh, I can achieve this without having to pay for much. It's always one of those things where it's really not about the equipment, it's more about the photographer themselves, or like videographer. The equipment is just there to help, but if you are very limited and you know what you're doing, you can achieve really great results. Like even when you shoot on auto, you start to notice that why am I really yellow under certain lights? Once you learn like white balance and like how the Kelvin cycle works and lighting works, you'll be like, oh, I know how to adjust this within this camera so I can get the look that I want. So yeah, in your opinion, what makes a good video from a production standpoint? For me, I think a great video is more of the content. All of this is great, like all this fancy schmancy all of this is great. But I tend to gravitate even more towards booktubers in particular that have really something to say and like have real good substance within their video. I do admire, don't get me wrong, I do admire when something is shot beautifully, but let's say your video is shot so beautifully, you have this beautiful background of like bookshelves, but then you say you're doing a review and all you're doing is saying it was good and that's it. I'm like, okay, so what else? On a production value, if any, let me just tell you guys, if anything you want to upgrade your videos and you want to upgrade your quality, don't save on a camera. I'm gonna tell you to invest on a mic. You will be so surprised how much sound plays an important part of video. Because let's say if this video is black right now and the quality of the sound sounds really good, then you'll be like, oh wow, even the video itself, I'm gonna make the sound crappy on purpose so you can hear it. So here's like good, decent sound, but then when it sounds really bad, you can really tell the difference. And that's what I always recommend people if you're doing like video wise, your sound, think about your sound first, then your lens, and then your body of your DSLR if you're going from DSLR. Even if you're filming on your iPhone, I would say there's mics now like lavalier mics that you can clip on here that makes the sound so much better, and you can put it right here and it gives you this quality that a lot of people don't even realize, that sound plays a really important part before like even the look of the video. It's always sound on a production value will be more important. Why do you think that when you like see behind the scenes movie stuff, like you see a lot of boom mics, you see a lot of like, what does this do? Like why are they clapping that thing? That once you learn how videos are made, that's important, because you'll understand. If you have any questions on like all of this stuff, let me know. Until then, I'll see you guys till tomorrow. Bye!